Good morning, everyone. This is Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports. This is OTBN365 for Sunday, May 8th, 2022. Um, Happy Mother's Day. That's the most important thing to all the moms, soon to be moms, mother figures out there in the world that really drive us all, keep things going, and help create this beautiful world we live in. So seriously, happy Mother's Day. Enjoy it, relax, whatever it is. I hope you have a great day. I'm sure you've earned it. I'm sure you've earned it. So, yeah, let's get into it. Yesterday, the Kentucky Derby, we talked about a little bit. I was slightly wrong. I gave you Epicenter as a winner. Not not a reach, but I was almost right. And then out of nowhere, this dude named Rich Strike comes out with an amazing Derby run. So Rich Strike wins the Kentucky Derby yesterday. At one point, he's 80-1 odds. I don't believe that's what I had a chance to bet him at, but that's at one point he was 80-1. He didn't find out he was even running in the Derby until Friday morning before the Derby. It was wild. Had one of the greatest. If it's out there on viral, find the overhead shot of him winning the race. When winning the race, he's at the back of the pack. An amazing run. To edge out Epicenter at the very end. Part of the story is, and I know it's. I don't know anything about horse racing, but he's kind of wilding out after the race. Everybody had a good time with that on social media, but oh, it's just an awesome Derby win. I don't know. I don't even know, like, if he'll race in the next two legs of the Triple Crown. I have no idea. But it was fun to watch. It was a good day. The weather looked pretty good down there. I had a couple mint juleps at a local place that were very tasty, very very tasty. So all in all, good Derby day. Awesome historic winner, and it's weird. Even the Kentucky Derby, nobody knows what's going to happen in sports anymore. Like honestly, anybody can win at any time, any game. It's pretty awesome. But um, I can't wait till next year already. So the one long shot I didn't pick, I bet the long shot's the one I didn't pick. So it was cool. So then let's get on to the NBA here. You guys know I'm an NBA guy. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Golden State just pummeled Memphis yesterday. you know at one they had 100 points at the end of the third quarter. It was never really close. Golden State was humming. They shot 63% from the field overall, 53% from three. Now when Golden State's making their shots, like, it's over, it's a wrap, because they're set up to get good shots, and when they knock them down, I mean, it's no secret they've done it for like a decade now. They're awesome. And they just put Memphis in a blender. Obviously part of their, a huge part of their game plan is to get Jaw to really work on defense. It's kind of a theme of this playoffs, is get these great offensive players, great overall players, to really exert a lot of concentration and effort on the defensive end, and try to slow down their offensive game. That being said, Jaw, was having a highlight reel day that really didn't matter, and we'll get into that here in a second. But Golden State blows them out. I didn't. I thought this series could go either way if Golden State's shooting like this, and Poole, but a great story, the last half of this NBA season. If he's going like he is, it feels like they've kind of found the formula against Memphis. I think that this series may be headed that way. And then towards the end of the game, which I got a lot of questions about this, the Jaw play. That's the talk. That's the play. So, if you don't know, that towards the end of the game, John Morant, Memphis, superstar, young superstar, limps off the court, and it's already a blowout. So my first question was, why was he even in? Now, I'm not one of these guys that thinks, like, anytime a player gets injured, if it's the game, is kind of decided that it's a mistake. But this one I did, and not because of injury, just because of wearing him out. Like, I'm out there and he's doing his thing in a blowout. They're down almost 30 points, and he's still going to the bucket. And he's still driving and layups and doing what he does, and he does it great. And the whole time I'm thinking, why do we need to do this? Like, just give him some rest. Like, I've seen a lot of good teams over the years. If you go back through time and look at the NBA playoffs, there's a lot of these blowouts, but then you'll look at them, and guys like Jordan James, Curry, whoever, didn't even play the fourth quarter, because it's like sometimes you got to concede and just let your guy rest and watch what's happening. I thought this before Ja limps off the court, and the next thing you know, Ja's limping off the court, and that's it for Memphis. If Ja's even 80%, I don't think they have a remote chance in this series. So then, so whatever, they decided he's in. It is what it is, So he's playing the game. He's paid to play the game. I get it. He's in, gets injured. You can't cry over spilled milk situation. But then the conversation becomes, was it dirty? Because then once they go back to super slow mo replay, which is important to note right here, super slow mo, you see Poole briefly sweat as they're trying to kind of trap Moran on the play. Briefly, he grabs the inside of Ja's right knee and kind of yanks on it. And in super slow mo, even it's not a very long amount of time that he had a hold of his knee. So in real speed, it's a blink of an eye. That being said, I've never been a professional athlete or on an NBA court. I have no idea what kind of effect that can have. After the game, Ja calls out Poole, says, he broke the code, insinuating that you never try to hurt one of the other players on the court, so to speak. And of course, Golden State, like they do, immediately defends it. We would, the classic Golden State stuff, no matter what happens on their watch, whether it's Draymond, it's usually Draymond, but they immediately get really defensive and really arrogant. Like, this isn't even worth talking about, blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's not, but their history is they automatically dismiss it as if it's a silly thing to bring up, which I don't think it is, because he did grab his knee, and that is the knee that Ja limped off on. So it's not crazy to ask the question. And I understand, their point of view. Of course, they're not, even if it was the most intentional play in the world, they're not going to come out and say, oh yeah, it was totally intentional. So I get it, but it's just it's the Golden State is in their groove, you know what I mean? And honestly, do I think he's trying to hurt him? No. Do I think he grabbed his knee? He did. Whatever you want to make of that. That's just the facts. Does that happen 1,000 times a games? Probably. We don't go back and watch if we took, I don't know, 13 hours and watched every game in super slow-mo, I bet there's a lot of plays like this. So I have no idea. I have no reason to think that Jordan Poole for a second would try to hurt Ja Morant. But if you play in such a way that you put people at risk by the way you play, is that just as bad? I don't know the answer to that. That we can go back to the bad boys situation, to where, some people admire their play. Some people think that they were playing in such a way that if somebody got injured, oh, that's what a coincidence situation. I don't know, but it's definitely heated up. There's going to be a fight the next game if Ja can't play or if he's limping. It's just the way it's going to be. Somebody's going to get called out on it. It's going to get ugly. But that being said, the series is going to get ugly if Ja's hurt. Golden State's going to run away with this thing. So it is what it is. Steph had a great night. 30 points. You know what I mean? Just that's what we talked about the other day. He takes what is available. So he decides everybody could add 30 yesterday, but still he gets his 30. Some games he's dishing it out more. It's just whatever's available. He's really, really had a pretty good series so far. Clay heated up a little bit, so that's cool. And Poole looks great. So Golden State, hey, they're a contender. We'll put it that way. They are absolutely a contender to win the title. And then before that, we have another BucksCeltics classic, and not classic as in like historic, but just a class. It was a really, really good game. This again, Bucks win 103-101. The last play of the game, maybe like 4 or 5 seconds after a missed free throw, intentional missed free throw, the Celtics have, I think, 3 tip-ins. They get the last tip-in, but it was just after, the clock runs out and they lose the game. Bucks had a pretty good control of this game, most of the early part of it, but then the Celtics fought back like they do, and then they get it right down to the end. The last 5 minutes of this game was fantastic. What I like about these teams is you get like 5 minutes left. I think the Bucks might have been up 4 or whatever. It was really close, right there. But the point is, both these teams still, when it's tight like that and there's so much on the line in these big playoff games, both teams still keep executing. It doesn't turn into hero ball like we saw like saying the last series with the Nets. So everything, it turns into, called hero ball, sounds so derogatory. It doesn't turn into ISO ball, at the end of the game. It's not Giannis versus Celtics. They keep playing. Both teams keep playing their offense, keep making the right passes, keep getting rebounds. It's really fun to watch these that means, you got well-coached teams, you got a vet, yeah, savvy team, so to speak, like all the cliche words, but it was really fun to watch. And the Celtics are playing good defense despite what Giannis is doing. They're building the wall. You're trying to keep him, from getting a full head of steam to the hoop, trying to hopefully get the charges. He's just crashing it. He's sneaking through there, Euro stepping. Sometimes they'll pull up for a jumper. He had 42 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists, and a meaningful game. That's the key. It just unbelievable game by Giannis. Just and it's every time, like, big rebounds, big tips, big passes. Drew Holiday's having a great series. He had 25 points yesterday. He's just playing a really, really good series with defense and offense, which is important with Middleton out. And it's just Giannis is just determined. Like he knows exactly what the Celtics were going to do, and he's attacking it, and he's relentless. He is not backing down. Like, I mean, the fact of the matter is they kind of did some of the similar stuff the Celtics did to Durant, last series, and Durant just kind of settled into the perimeter, and it worked. And Giannis just will not do that. He is going to be beat and bruised after this series, and it's awesome. And then, like I say, as good as the Bucks played yesterday, they pulled it out by a millisecond, or this game's tied. So this series it feels like it's destined to go 7 games, and I'm here for it. The more the better. They can play 14 if they want. Jason Tatum, really off game. Now, I don't know if this is because he's expounding so much energy on defense that, like we talked about, earlier, if that's working, or if you sometimes just have an off game. But 10 points, 1 assist, and 3 rebounds, it stands out on the stat sheet. He's still out there, playing a good game, but I mean, stats matter at some point. Like, I need a little more out of that. So we keep, it's another one of these. We've anointed him an official superstar, and then that happens, and I'm like, ugh. It just feels he's just right on that line. Great player. We're not having this debate. I'm just saying, you know, this is the difference. And we saw this with Giannis for a couple years too, until the Nets series last year when he decided to go to the next level, and it's off. And I have no doubts Tatum's going to come back in a couple days and probably go lights out and have a great game, and the Celtics are going to win. There's no reason to dispute that they're going to trade punches at this point. But man, what a great game. That was fun. Good series, good teams, good coaching, everything. It's awesome. So tonight and today on Sunday, we got the Suns and the Mavs, and then we got the Heat and the Sixers again. And it's as obvious as can be, but both the Mavs and the Heat, or the Sixers, the Mavs and the Sixers have to win tonight. They cannot go down 3-1 in these series and fight back. They're just not. The two teams they're playing are just too good. They're not going to win 3 in a row against them. So, a couple of I got to say, a couple of must-win games. I know it's as cliche as can be. I'm almost embarrassed that I said it, because actually I wrote down a couple of have-to-win games, but I think you would see right through that. I'm pretty sure. So. That's it for Sunday. Again, have a great Mother's Day. Thank you to all the moms out there in the world. You're great, and we love you all. And everybody, please go to Off the Ball Network. Sign up for our social medias, Twitter, Facebook. Go to the Off the Ball Network podcast feed, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, subscribe, share, the whole 9 yards. And then, of course, go to the YouTube and hit that subscribe button. We'll get these numbers up, and we want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. And, we thank you for every listen and view that you give us over here at Off the Ball. We're having a great time. I'm Jeff from Jeff Needs Sports, and that's it for OTBN 365 today.